One of the principles of the philosophy of being, amongst at least some of the Greek philosophers, I'm thinking Aristotle, but it should be Plato really. I'll have to Google it when I get back. But I think it might have been either in Plato's metaphysics or it was in Aristotle. But it was this idea of hylomorphism as a kind of explanation for the nature of being. The question was something to do with, how does an acorn know to turn into an oak tree? Or how does an embryo know to turn into a human being? Now we'd answer that question using genetics as an answer, something like that. The ancient Greeks didn't have that explanation available to them. So one of the things they came up with, which was pretty interesting really, was this idea of hylomorphism. And I think, if I'm right in saying that hyl means wood, so it's something to do with substance, and morph is to do with form. So hylomorphism is a concept to do with the form that the substance takes. And the idea is that in every entity, like an acorn or like an embryo, there is a kind of hylomorphic pattern, a blueprint for the eventual emergence of whatever the ultimate form of the entity is, an oak tree or an adult human being. But this hylomorphic pattern transcends its instantiation in particular substance. Because I think the observation there is that whilst an oak tree undoubtedly emerges from an acorn, the substance isn't in the acorn. The substance is in the earth underneath the acorn, it's in the rain, it's in the sunlight and so on. And the acorn contains the pattern, if you like, that allows the hylomorphic form to eventually materialize, and similarly with a human embryo. So the substance changes, but somehow the form nevertheless manifests throughout those changes. And not only that, but once it has manifest, it stays manifest. The tree doesn't change into something else. The human embryo doesn't carry on some sort of strange hylomorphic changing process beyond maturity. There seems to be some sort of process in operation, to the ancient Greeks, a hylomorphic process, which maintains the shape, maintains the form of the mature being, despite any substantive changes that are taking place, despite the fact that the skin cells are constantly falling off and the hair is falling out and all those other metabolic changes are taking place. The person stays pretty much the same. There's a kind of vernacular folk understanding of that, I think, in our attachment to certain objects, our understanding of how certain objects preserve their identity over time. I'm reminded of the carpenter who had a favourite axe. And someone asked him, how long have you had this axe? He said, this axe has been in my family for generations. My father had it before me, and his father had it before him, and I'll be handing it down to my son. And it's in great condition, this axe. Fantastic condition. You wouldn't think it was so old. I've only had to replace the head a couple of times, and that's only the third new shaft I put on it. But the overall axe is fantastic. What that story tells us is that even though all of the axe has been changed at various times, the essence, if you like, the hylomorphic property of it has somehow stayed the same, as indeed as the hylomorphic property of the carpenter himself.